welcome to our NewsX podcast show, which is Get Candid with Chitvan. Welcome to Get Candid with Chitvan. Today we have joined by someone who called himself a human engineer, Dr. Jeetu Mishra, a seasoned sports physiotherapist with deep expertise in biomechanics. Dr. Mishra has spent over 2 decades helping people prevent injuries and heal holistically. Let's explore the science behind movement recovery, the art of staying pain-free, not just for athletes, but for all of us. Hi, Dr. Mishra. How are you?
Hello, Chitvan. Good to be with you on the podcast.
So let's start with the title. Why do you call yourself a human engineer?
Human engineer, because the work that we do is we basically help people to get relief from the pain. And the pain, mostly over so many centuries and decades, been treated symptomatically. So you got a headache, you got a knee pain, you got an elbow pain, whatever pain, you take a painkiller. Or in the other ways, in general, in physiotherapy, you put up the machines, electrotherapy, and there's no assessment in terms of what are the reasons which are causing this. So if your feet, your back is misaligned, means if there's any twisting or uneven weight distribution. So I, instead of treating it symptomatically, I believe in fixing up the problem.
So nice.
Yeah.
So you specialize in biochemical analysis. How does that help prevent injuries?
So since ever, I was always keen with the sports.
Okay.
And when it sports, we always try and improve the efficiency of a person who's playing.
Yeah.
So we know how the angle has to be to prevent the injuries, how the ball has to be thrown so that the speed of the ball is better without affecting any undue strain on the knee, ankle, any joint. So this is what is called as a biomechanics. So
Okay.
any object, whenever the gravity works, there's a proportion of forces which works. So if your joints are heavier, there'll be more which will be working. So your lower body takes more load because the lower body is meant to take the weight of your body, and the upper body is meant to, take the weight of your upper body. So
Yeah.
this is how are divided. So mostly everybody was working towards just the healing of your pain in terms of the skin muscle. Uh, but yes, when I passed out sometime 21, 22 years back, the biomechanics was improving or was in a progress. As the digitalization happened,
Hmm.
further understanding of how the joints work, how the angles works, and how much Newton forces in terms of कितना effort आपको लगता है when you pick up anything,
Yeah.
how much effort when you take one step.
Hmm.
So if you have to make your walking on the steps to be more efficient without pain, can be called as an understanding of your biomechanics.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what one injury you see most often in today's lifestyle and how can we avoid it?
So I wouldn't say one injury because there's patterns of injuries which arrives.
Yeah.
Same guy can have back pain also.
Hmm.
Same guy can have pain also, and same guy can have a headache also. So these are patterns basically. Anybody who gets a knee pain will ultimately get a back pain,
Of course.
and anybody gets a back pain will ultimately get a neck pain. So
Hmm.
these are sequence. You have to break the sequence, understand why this is happening.
Okay.
So, and anybody comes and tells me that I've got a back pain, doesn't mean the neck is not affected or the
Hmm.
lower back affected. So we don't have I generally don't restrict myself to just one part. We
Hmm.
try and look low and above the part where the patient is telling me.
Okay. So do non-athletes really need physiotherapy? What you take?
So
What's your take behind it?
there's vast difference in terms of when it comes to understanding athletes and non-athletes.
Okay.
I primarily work a mixture of a population in a daily practice. So
Hmm.
non-athletes to be treated than compared to the athlete. The athletes demands a higher level of fitness. So their level of training, their level of treatment is also much, much harder. They
Yeah.
don't achieve as possible as a ordinary guy would. If you got a neck pain, you may visit only 4 or 5 sessions or maximum 10 sessions and you would relieve. If the athlete gets a neck pain,
Hmm.
it's because of Newton forces, because he's been bending for hours and hours or he got an injury while playing. So
Yeah.
he will take a long. It may take a 2 months or 3 months time. This is how it works.
Okay. So you have worked with both athletes and regular individuals. How different their recovery process?
So, primarily, there are two kinds of therapists or a physiotherapist. The
Mm-hmm.
people who work on the field with the team. So that is usually done by the younger generation, younger athletes. And as you get older, you work towards the assessment,
Yeah.
how the person improve further in their efficiency towards the playing. So my work now remains people who gets the injury. They've visited several places and they've either help little bit or and that keeps coming back again and again. So my idea is here to break the pattern of the injury that is happening to him. So this can be done by treatment, this can be done by exercise, his biomechanics to be altered, his there's always some slight alteration in his life which can change him uh, fantastically all his life. So similarly, any athlete will not have the same season every year to year.
Okay.
The angle, the muscles keeps getting tighter
Hmm.
or weak because of repetitive strain injury. So your bowling action, your kicking action changes with the time. So our idea here is not to change, not to let that change happen, to stop the change then and there.
Okay. So what role does mindset play in physical recovery and pain management?
So again, a mindset of a common guy is whenever they visit is get relief and get back to the work.
Yeah.
A common want to be in the office so he doesn't miss the work. Whereas the athlete is, even if he's in mild pain, the athlete is never pain free. Firstly,
Yeah.
there are always some sort of a mild to moderate pain which always persists, and the pains are never there when they sleep. Pain is always there whenever they are on the field. So mindset, they're always stronger. They know the pain is what they have to work with.
Okay.
This is what the most athletes in the world, they practice 80% time and they play 20% time in terms of the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they play 80 90% time and they practice only 10% time. This is the basic difference.
Okay. So chiropractic care is often misunderstood. How do you integrate it into your practices?
So, I've been doing it for a long time. And again, chiropractic means working with the hand basically. It doesn't need to be called as always the popping sound. Adjustment is a smaller or a main aspect of the chiropractic, where what the American or a Canadian chiropractic is. But I would say a Indian chiropractic version that I have evolved and a lot of people are evolving is a mixture of several things. The science is always ever changing. It's never fixed that one has to do this way. So there, one kind of a change is the YouTube change, where they can show you popping up of sound from any part of the body, which is very unprofessional, and they have no clue of what they're doing. They are working towards the views, and when a professional guy who's working towards healing of the patient,
Yeah.
and he's not focusing to make a video. He's basically trying to treat the patient more efficiently. His The patient's time is safe, patient's money is safe, and he has to visit as less as possible. We would try, to limit the number of sessions.
Okay.
Even we send back the patients with 20% pain, because we know once the 80% pain has gone, the 20% will go by itself. You don't have to spend money for that 20% to me
Okay.
or time to. But if the people don't want to exercise, don't want to rest, then you'll come back to me.
Hmm.
As simple. And the idea here is that patient has to understand the pain has been born only bad habits or a bad posture or injury. So
Yeah.
patient has to take care. Doctor can only help them.
So my next question to you, how do you define holistic health in your daily life?
Holistic health is firstly, until your mind is free, your body cannot be free. It's obvious. If you've got a limitation of doing something of work to physical activity, you won't be fit forever.
Yeah.
If I have a limitation that I can't do this with my patient, or I can't treat the knee pain, but I can treat a shoulder pain better,
Yeah.
then holistic healing is that if you can treat a right knee pain and it is linked with the left shoulder, it is interlinked. The moment you treat the right knee pain, left shoulder pain will go away. This is what in a short form, I can say holistic healing. If you treat a neck pain, it would help the lower back pain to go away simultaneously.
So, what one myth about pain or posture you wish people would unlearn?
Unlearn.
Yeah.
I would say that the science has to go rewind itself from the making of the phones. If we're not born or are born in a different
Yeah.
uh, way, where they don't have to lean forward. We evolved from four leg animal to standing up. Now we are bending forward and going down. So I wish we don't have to bend your neck. The moment you raise your neck, your posture improves. As simple as.
So, you said you are still learning and wish to pursue PhD. What would you love to research?
I would love to research everything, but my interest would always be in biomechanics to understand more and more deeper knowledge. And science is always a student never the feeling of being a student never dies. Somebody who's curious to know. So, and getting back to a student life is always wonderful. Yeah, and knowledge of biomechanics is what always fascinates me. Something like people like to play new games.
Yeah.
I to validate,
They
experiment.
basically they fascinate you. The new
Yes,
games, the new things. Yeah.
time I see a patient and if I have to help them with the knee pain, and it's an experiment basically. You can't say to every patient that I will 100%. It's an So if I'm able to help 50% of my patients, I'm happy. I'm unhappy because I was unsuccessful treating rest of my 50% patient.
Of course. Can you share a healing story that stays with you?
Real story in terms of funny, serious, emotional,
It's
or
all up to you. Just one healing
or
story which you
uh,
remember.
there may been many stories. So in terms, I would say uh, to be given today's reference that I get a lot of candidates who pass through the defense exams, NDA exams, and when they get rejected and they're medically unfit because of one or the other reasons,
Mm-hmm.
if my understanding of my biomechanics can help them get through that medical board, and when they're selected,
Hmm.
it's an feeling because a young kid wants to make a career something, and if probably that science wasn't there, he would have been rejected. And sometimes people are a little unaware. Say your posture is something like this, which is compressing your spine, and the X-ray or MRI has to be taken. The moment you clench your feet, you create an arch.
Hmm.
It elongates. You know,
Okay.
these smaller things or and a treatment and various things helps a lot. Which we've been doing for a long time, and every day at present also we've got a young cadet who wants to be an air force pilot. He's been rejected because of smaller aspects, and we are working to heal him, treat him. Yeah, and like this, and numerous stories. There are many stories which we can't share here. Goes down when a Fauji gets splinters on his whole spine, back, and when they wake up and they say that I want to be with Dr. Jeetu to be back to the field again. So there are many such stories. Yeah.
So nice. So, one simple tip for anyone listening to stay pain free and mobile for life.
Listen to yourself. The best person is not the doctor, and the way you research about serials, movies, and Netflix, get out of that and
Yeah.
do some research of what exercises that you've been doing. Same old exercise every day, again and again. Same protocols will make your muscles more stubborn, more injury prone. Your joints will get restricted. Now you have AI. Use AI to make 3 months protocol, change your protocols, read more, and be more healthier. Nowadays, you don't need a wise guy to give you a serious program of exercise. AI works absolutely geniusly to
Yeah.
help you. You don't pay anyone these days. It works for diet, works for many other things. So AI is the future.
Thank you, Dr. Jeetu, for reminding us that healing is not just for the injury, it's a lifestyle. Whether you are an athlete or someone chasing deadlines at a desk, your body deserves care. Stay strong, stay mobile, and keep listening to Get Candid with Chitvan.